I haven't been talking very much about politics in this space for a long time, but this morning at the end, just before we get into the numbers, I am going to have a political comment. Take it or leave it for what it is, but I think it's time for this comment. All right. I'm really kind of angry at Chair Powell, and this is not political. This is economic. I'm angry at him for his gratuitous and out of character comment regarding the December meeting. He blew up the mortgage market and the 10-year bond, which were both trending towards common sense. I'm hoping that today's drop in the yields in the 10-year is evidence that his nonsense will see cooler heads in those markets. But sad, sad, sad. But that nonsense also is part of the reason that Tesla being down yesterday, and the momentum towards all-time high was short-circuited because of that comment. This morning, we're seeing Tesla back on the mend and heading upwards again, as the market seems to be responding to maybe we were dumb to take too much heed of Powell's comments. I'm also calling baloney on the dumb reasons people are using for yesterday's sell-off of Tesla. The best one, but still wrong, is CalPers saying that they would vote against the kind of vote against Elon Musk. CalPers has a substantial number of shares, but I think they're 1.2% of the total shares. There may have been a problem with my with my transmission there for a minute. And now the worst that CalPERS, it's not going to have an impact. The worst one is that Tesla isn't filling out paperwork in a couple of states. I don't think that had anything to do. Well, hey, it might have caused some of the downward trend yesterday, but it would be a dumb reason. Mostly because if they're not filling out paperwork, they got a good reason to. They're not stupid. They have lots and lots of lawyers and lots of administrators to take care of this kind of stuff. Another lame one is that there was a recall on Cybertrucks because of a problem with the rear lights system. Okay, but I don't think you go down whatever it was, 4% or something because of the lights. The reality is that the hyperscalers were hit yesterday, all of them, well, almost all of them, and Tesla got counted among that group. Now you can combine that with the Powell statement, and because interest rates have an actual impact on both Tesla profits and valuation, and there you might have a reason. But generally speaking, I think I said it yesterday. I'm going to continue to say it. I think yesterday was just another one of those days where the markets were looking for a reason, and the Powell nonsense was enough of a reason. Going into the shareholders meeting, I think we will see a rally into the meeting, probably see a rally into the meeting, which started today. I wrote that before I knew we would be up as much as we are this morning. We will potentially see it rally into even to the all-time high or 500 before the meeting on Thursday, and then maybe if it's that high, we could see a sell-off back into this range after the meeting, or into the 470, which will be another one of these numbers. Either way, I'm saying that we get. Oh, and there's another possibility is that we kind of go up between now and the meeting, but then after we get the vote, we go up more afterwards and finally get to all-time higher 500. So my call right now is I've moved my 500 or even 488 or 480. Any one of those would be, I think, logical. 480 as a minimum, which was the closing high, all-time high. So 480 now would be 3 days after the meeting, the 11th. All right, that would be my normal thing. Is it takes 3 days after the meeting for the for the voters, if you will, the stockholders, to decide what it all meant. By the way, Kalshi and Polymarket are both at around 93% for passage. I think there's money to be made there. because I think it's 99% likely, or maybe even 100% likely, and therefore there's a 7% spread. That's not investment advice. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just saying it looks to me like there's a chance to make some money. My computer froze again. I'm very sorry if that I don't know what you're seeing. Keep in mind, keep in mind that, like any estimates of future events, news can't always come in and mess things up. Tesla was definitely on a great trajectory to make 500 by today until Powell spoke. But while the pay package passing is critical, we're certainly pretty clear about that result. The most critical issue from now to the end of the year is FSD unsupervised and the robotaxi rollout. We are down to 60 days before the end of the year. Elon predicted that we'd have multiple cities and no safety riders in Austin by the end of the year. He predicted we'd have unsupervised in some regions by the end of the year. So that's a lot of stuff to accomplish in the next 60 days, all of which will definitely impact the price of the stock. Ashok 𝐒𝐚𝐲 comes out with this morning. I think this is worth a full-on thought, or that we take the entire thing into consideration. This note regarding the importance of Elon leading Tesla is more relevant now than ever. Tesla's at a critical juncture as it is metamorphizing into the world leader in robotics. Creating large-scale, useful robots requires expertise across engineering design, manufacturing, real-world AI software, chips for AI, and more. Elon is quite likely the only person on Earth with deep skills and the right instincts across all of these domains. Please vote yes on the shareholder proposal. He says Elon has been the key driver of AI and autonomy at Tesla, therefore for the world. He has always pushed us to achieve great things, even when such ideas were seemingly impossible. Some examples: back in 2014, Autopilot started out as on a ridiculously tiny computer that only had 384 kilobytes of memory and puny compute. Didn't even have native floating point arithmetic. He asked the engineering department to implement lane keeping, lane changing, longitudinal controls for vehicles, curvature, etc. Many even on the team thought that the request was crazy. Nonetheless, he never gave up, pushed the team to achieve this very difficult goal. In 2015, beyond all odds, Tesla shipped the world's first autopilot system. The second closest such product only came to market many years later. In 2016, Tesla started doing all of the computer vision required for autopilot in-house instead of depending on external vendors. Many people thought it was insane to bet the product on development, that the vision system from scratch within a few months, which had taken other companies a decade or more. Yet we achieved this target within 11 months. This was a strategically important move that started the development of a strong AI team at Tesla. Not only did he push for strong AI software, but also for powerful AI hardware. Tesla, which others thought was just a car company, was making custom silicon to run neural networks efficiently. This hardware that was originally designed in 2017 came to production in February 2019 and remains extremely competitive with hardware coming out to date, 2019. This 5-year-old AI computer has roughly 8 times the AI inference compute as a state-of-the-art Apple M3 chip. It is still able to run the latest end-to-end neural networks built on top of the latest AI technology. He was the one who bet on vision and AI to solve autonomy instead of relying on sensor crutches with high-definition maps. For anyone who has experienced the latest versions of FSD, it might be obvious that it can see all the important things and drive the car based on pure vision. However, back in 2020 and earlier, it wasn't obvious to most. In fact, many experts in the field ridiculed Tesla and Elon for these choices and continue to today, so-called experts. We have proven them wrong by shipping supervised FSD to millions of cars and showing with good AI software that the car is able to handle the complexities of city driving, such as making turns, handling intersections, yielding to pedestrians, etc. just by seeing outside. In fact, we even removed the radars and ultrasonics that just really focus on the heart of the problem, which is AI. Today, it's almost paradoxical that Teslas have the least amount of raw sensors, yet have the most autonomous capability compared to any production car. Pulling on such a contrary bet, pulling off such a contrary bet was only possible because of the extreme conviction and deep understanding of the problem that Elon has and his ability to hire. People forget his ability to hire is such an important part of this, and then to manage and to motivate. He kickstarted the work. I said something about this in some book, the Elon Musk method, which, by the way, is evergreen. The Elon Musk method, I make no commission on it. The person who co-developed that book with me has ghosted me and is not paying me my royalties. And so I make no commission on the Elon Musk method. I'm still telling you, you should buy it if you haven't read it. He kickstarted the work on humanoid robots in Tesla in 2021, again, before any ChatGPT or other obvious examples of the rise of AI. Just like the vehicle autonomy, Optimus is also being developed to be competent, scalable, and cost-effective in order to widely serve the world. He says, I could go on, but plainly, Elon is critical for Tesla's success in AI. It's this combination of deep technical understanding, insane perseverance, and relentless hard work that have positioned Tesla to be a leader in real-world AI. Elon's technical intuition to make these important decisions way before others is unmatched. I agree with all of that, every single thing he said. If not for Elon's ambition, Tesla might have dwindled to become just another car company. In the future, fully autonomous cars and useful household robots will be commonplace, and the world will think that this was how it was always supposed to be. Until then, we need Elon Musk to push the frontier because he already sees it. You know what I would add to all of that? We don't know what else Elon has up his sleeve. Do you think for a minute that he hasn't had, 10,000 ideas since he stopped adding to the product lineup at Tesla? 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Oh, no. The ideas are coming over and over and over again. Some of them have been turned into other companies, but there's way more. So we don't know once we get Optimus solved next year, and I think Optimus will be solved by the second half of next year. I mean, solved, meaning production, shipping to other customers. With Robotaxi and Tesla and Optimus solved, I think we go on to the next product, which Elon hinted about as something that will have to do with warehousing or manufacturing. I'm thinking forklifts. I don't know, something like that. TipRank says this morning, the Elon Musk-led firm, Tesla, whose sales have struggled in China in recent months, will debut its Cybertruck robotaxi at the China International Expo next week. Cybercab, I said Cybertruck, Cybercab robotaxi next week. The trade fair will help Tesla show how it is actively integrating artificial intelligence into the real world, the company said in a statement. We are redeeming the labor, transportation, and new energy industries. According to South China Morning Post, Tesla's appearance at the show marks a return to the China stage after it skipped 2 major events in Shanghai. They were the Shanghai Auto Show and in April and last year's CHE. Barron's has this morning. Historically, November is a better month for Tesla stock. The average gain in October is only 2%. The average gain in November is about 12%, which would put us over 500. That's what's more. Tesla has risen 11 out of 15 Novembers since going public. Sounds like a good, that's not investment advice. It has only risen 5 times in October. Clarification from yesterday's comments with regard to the crashes by robotaxis. Okay, so Tesla has turned in 4 crashes to NISTA. All 4 of those were in Austin. Okay, now 3 were in July when the program was first breaking, and one of those was in September. The September one is the only one that they detail. And they said that it hit a solid object in a parking lot. We know one of the other 3 was that incident with the UPS van, and we don't know what the other 2 are. But overall, we've got 4 accidents, all in Austin. Even if you took and said that, the whole 250,000 miles, you divide by 6, that would be 62,500 miles between these minor incidences. By the way, this is Randy Kirk. You can see it right over there. If you haven't bought it yet, you need to buy it. I know that there's more people out there that need this book. You need it to, here's one of the reasons you need it. You need it to buy it. You need to buy it and read it, or at least read some of it, read the parts that are interesting to you. Remember, this is like stringing together 17 articles. Actually, you could say 19 articles, one of which is the list of the top people in the AI business, the top 126 individuals who are influencing and making the AI business what it is today. Another one of those is the top 10 top questions. But then there's all the articles written by me and Brian Wong and by the other 7 authors. And you can kind of skip around if you want. I mean, I put it in the order that I thought it made the best sense, like the 8 different parts of the AI stack. I put them in the order of kind of the way they work, like starting with mining and refining, and then going to the AI data centers. I mean, energy was next, I think, and then AI data centers. And just going up the stack like that, ending with inference and inference and apps. It reads in order that it should read in. But you could skip around. You can say, well, I don't really care about energy, but I'm really interested in learning more about, say, the mining and refining, or some of the applications. Okay, Bloomberg and Reuters this morning have continued to produce the initial jobless claims data. And this week, the initial claims dropped. I know, dropped to a seasonally adjusted 219,000, down from 232,000 the prior week. This suggests a slight easing in labor market pressures, though continuing claims rose, indicating more people are staying on the unemployment rolls longer. Now, this pretty much confirms what we're thinking, is that there's not much hiring and there's not much firing. And I told you yesterday that the one thing Chair Powell said that I was confused by, I did explain yesterday how it is possible that having fewer people available to go to work because of outmigration and because of lower job participation, lower participation rates, that could actually impact the number of jobs that are being added and the number of jobs that are being filled. And you also have this mismatch of what people can do versus what people need people to do. All right. Trueflation this morning. Trueflation, I think about the same as yesterday. Overnight, 2.43, goods at 2.75, core at 2.34, services at 2.25, and PCE at 2.65. Now, let's go back to the goods one, 2.75. And you're saying, Randy, you've been telling us for a long time that the impact of the tariffs would be between 4.4 and 0.6%. And Chair Powell has confirmed that over and over again at the last 2 meetings, between 3, actually, in his case. For me, it's between 4.4 and 0.6. So goods inflation being at 2.75, can we just subtract 0.4? No, because most of the tariff impact is on goods, and therefore, goods is only a small part, about 30% of the economy. So basically, you'd have to triple that. You would subtract 1.2. Does that make sense? You following me? If not, let me know in the comments below. So your goods inflation, your real goods inflation minus tariffs would be about 1.6. Let's break it down a little bit. Trueflation showing groceries headed down again, still a bit above 2%, and some of that would be tariffs. Housing continues lower. It's under 1% now. Transportation up slightly. It is above 2%, but most of that is because car prices are going up. Health is above 3%. This needs to be dealt with. This is a problem. The president's addressing it slowly but surely with the pharmaceuticals, which is a big piece of that. But we need more. We need more. Household durables, daily use items showing impact of tariffs are around 5%. You see how they're up much higher. Subtract out a full percent or more on that household durables, and you get down, now you're under 4%. That's still high, but it also only represents 7% of the total cost of living. Alcohol and tobacco is above 3%, but it's 100% tobacco, and I don't think that's tariffs. Alcohol is actually negative, and you would think some of that would have some tariffs. But the two of those only represent 2% of the basket of goods. Clothing and footwear is slightly above 2%, also impacted somewhat by tariffs. Education is higher, but is coming down. Recreation and culture is way above 3%. That is the old folks and the rich folks traveling and buying tickets. Finally, personal care items are around 3%, slightly impacted by tariffs as well. Now, I said, you can turn it off if you want to right now. Here's my political rant. I said 3 weeks ago, go back and check it out. I said 3 weeks ago, the Republicans should add continuing resolutions to the list of things that can't be filibustered. If we have eliminated these other two things, which are Supreme Court justices and regular justices, and we've taken those off the board and said, nope, those can't be filibustered. And then we have this whole thing with the, what do you call it? I'm forgetting the name of it now, but these budget items that are only a 51% majority. Well, there's, grow the list one more. And guess what? Last night, President Trump came out and endorsed me. President Trump says, Randy's right. We need to end the filibuster on CRs. It makes no sense to require a filibuster-proof situation in order to not pass CRs. So I'm calling for that again. I think that's what they should do today. It would undermine the Democrats if they're getting any advantage over this government closing, and they think they are, if they're getting any advantage out of yelling at the Republicans over SNAP and everything else, and they might be getting some advantages, certainly among their base. Well, if they think they're getting that advantage, take it away. Forget it. No, CRs always pass. It's only under Trump, when they're trying to resist him because of Trump derangement syndrome, that we can't pass continuing resolutions. It is completely wrong. It's a mess, and I'm saying end it. Trump today is still at 45. He's been at 45 all week. That is 45%. 45% of the folks appreciate him. They should all appreciate him. All right, Tesla is now up 3.36% at 450, call it 5. Retracing all the losses from yesterday, not quite, almost there. The Dow Jones is up only 0.11. The NASDAQ is up 1.03, and the S&P is up 0.54. We've got the Magnificent Seven down today, except for NVIDIA, which is up strongly, and Amazon, which is up very strongly because of their big beat yesterday and the fact that they're spending a ton of money on improving their AI systems for the future. So they're up 10.11% at 245. The VIX is up a little bit this morning. I'm surprised the VIX is up 17%. I'm sorry, 17 points. And the Cathie Woods are all up today. Because why? Oh, because, the bonds are relaxing. So let's go take a look at that. Right now, we've got the 10-year down 1.2 basis points back to 4.08. So I think this will continue. I'm not making a call yet. Okay. Roughly speaking, we'll be back in the threes by the end of November, but I want to get more specific. By the end of November, we'll be back in the threes. And by the end of November, we will have heard from all of the Fed governors and almost all the Fed governors and presidents, and we will know how they're going to vote. Okay. So as we get closer and closer to the end of November, everybody, the voting will show us what's happening, and the bond prices will relax back down again. Okay, we have got oil this morning up a whole 17 cents. Natural gas up another 2.12% at $4.04. We've got gold up $15.30 at 403.1. We have silver at down 0.2 after being up more than gold yesterday. at 48.51, and copper down 0.57, still over $5 at $5.07, kind of right in the middle of where it's been. The dollar is up today, and Bitcoin is up today, 3,259, but still only at 110,000. Ethereum up even more than that, 3.87% up today, at 3,852. Remember now, Tom Lee says that Ethereum is going to triple. I'm probably not getting this right, but I think he thinks Ethereum is going to be around triple and Bitcoin around double before the end of the year in the next 60 days. That's all there is about that. Let me talk about what's happening later today. We got Larry Goldberg on later, and Brian Wong, or Phil Beisel. I'm not 100% sure. It could go either way, but both of those will be recorded later this morning, and then I have to decide who's going to be on at what time. So probably Larry Goldberg at around 5, and Brian or Phil at 7:45. That's probably what's going to happen. Whoever isn't on tonight will be on first thing in the morning, and then we will go through a normal weekend where I scramble to come up with ideas of things to talk to you about, because I have people traveling and people doing all kinds of things where I don't have as many co-hosts this weekend as normal. All right. Last night. Yes, last night. Of course, you should go back and see CERN Basher. Of course. So here's the card for CERN. If you haven't watched the CERN Basher thing, of course, you want to go back and check that out. And then one last look at Tesla to see if it's continuing to move higher and higher and higher. We have got Tesla sitting at 454. Yeah, I think that's actually up 454.38. All right. That's all I got for you right now. As always, it has been great, absolutely amazing talking to you.